Amanda, what do you want to be when you grow up? A football player, a geriatric physician, and president of the United States. Okay, baby, but if you had to pick one, like, which one would you pick? Definitely a football player. And my dad just giggled. I was 5 years old, obsessed with becoming a professional football player. We were in front of the TV, my dad, me, my brothers, they're screaming at the TV. I'm just imagining how the game would be different if I was playing in it. Like, we lived just south of Boston, so it was all about the New England Patriots, but this was before this was when they were playing with fair balls. And Steve Grogan and Tony Easton, they were real bad. You don't know their names, there's a reason for that. Anyways, they really sucked. So we had like the 1986, for example, Super Bowl where the Chicago Bears just completely obliterated the Patriots. So bad was at the time the biggest loss in NFL history, where even the 335-pound defensive lineman, the William the Refrigerator Perry, rushed in for a touchdown. Real bad, like humiliating. Anybody who knows football, but all I could imagine was like me being in the game and going after the fridge, and I could hear John Madden being like, "Boom! Amanda Sapir just lays a big hit on the fridge." It was just all I thought about every game, me in the plays. I was obsessed. The Patriots sucked so bad, so I had to go elsewhere for role models. So quarterback, I was Dan Marino, the Dolphins. And for wide receiver, my other hero was Jerry Rice, legendary 49ers. I had their football cards. I knew all their stats. I knew their moves. I practiced them in the backyard. I practiced throwing footballs. I played flag football at recess and immediately commandeered the field and declared, "I'm quarterback." And it was awesome. Until, actually, there's one more thing. I always wanted a real replica Dan Marino, like, uniform, like the jersey and the pants and the real plastic helmet. And I asked for it, like, every birthday, and I always got Cabbage Patch dolls, and it was awful. But my bubble was further burst by my friend Daryl Delancey when he finally broke the news and said, "Amanda, girls can't try out for football." And I thought he was just mad for the time that I threw him in the river for cheating at kickball, but it turns out it was an awful truth. I confirmed it with my brothers, who were like, "Yeah, Amanda, you can't play football. Girls can't play. You can play the girl sports." I was like, football is a girl sport, but not at the time. So there was no fighting it. I had to give up on my dream, and the jersey and the whole deal until 20 years later, when I had the opportunity. I was getting my car an oil change, and the woman changed my oil, saw that I had a football in the back seat. "Do you play?" It's like, "Yeah, I like to throw the football around." She's like, "Do you know there's a women's professional football team in Tucson?" And I was like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, I play the Tucson Monsoon." I was like, "Oh my God, that's awesome. That's awesome." She's like, "Yeah, you should totally try out." Now, I took one look at this woman. She was like real stout and solid, like probably closer to 6 feet tall. I'm guessing like all muscle, 200 pounds. At the time, I'm in my like early 30s then, and I was really into yoga and meditation and Buddhism, which, as you know, is the religion of compassion and love and like not harming living creatures. But nonetheless, I just really rolled back to like my childhood dreams that sort of then blended with my adult dreams, because it was like lights and football, and there was a high correlation between very beautiful women and football players. So I was like, "Oh, okay, maybe I'll think about it. Thank you." And she's like, "Yeah, awesome. I love football. It's like legalized assault." Yeah, I felt shivers. But again, the allure of the lights and the glamour of the football glory was just like pulling me in. And even though I was kind of small and soft in stature, I like inside I feel like a turkey leg eating Viking. So I was like, "Fuck this, I can do it." So I totally went to the tryouts, and I was surrounded by like women like this woman who'd like all just tree trunks, like just like a whole team of defensive linemen, and like who were just grunting and chasing little twigs carrying footballs, and they, I did the 50-yard dash, and I did some agility skills and pass plays and all this, and they definitely separated me into the twig category, and told me immediately I'd made the team, which was, thank you, it was amazing. I made the team! I'm a pro bowler! Yeah! So, it was awesome. I remember the first hit. It was full tackle football. I remember the first hit I took. Of course, it had to be Miss Legalized Assault. It felt like a car accident. It sounded and felt like a car accident. Except after a car accident, like the offending driver doesn't go, "Yeah!" Fuck you. So Anyways, I learned a couple other things about my team. For example, we were the worst in the league out of 40 teams. We had some pretty serious drinking, behavioral, and legal problems on the team, which is not unlike the NFL, but unlike men's football, I learned we had no money, so not only did players not get played, but we actually had to pay to travel. Yeah, so women's sports, man, it's not as different as it should be since when I was a kid. But nonetheless, I was into it. I was ready to go, and really, I had kind of my career really changed. My second game, which was against the Dallas Diamonds, the best team in the league, in Dallas, away game, 107 degrees on AstroTurf in June. Normally, a traditional team is 54 players, 11 on the offense, 11 on the defense, special teams. You got to have a lot of substitutes because it's gruesome. People get injured and tired, whatever. Well, like, between people on probation and people not having any money and people just being fucking scared, only 19 of us volunteered to go to the game. Yeah. They didn't have money to split in, like, cars with 5 people. So, anyways, 19 of us went. I remember laying on the AstroTurf to stretch, and it was so hot it burned through my uniform. Like, I felt like I had serious degree burns. And then when I got up, and we were all looking across at the Dallas Diamonds team, and they're, again, just like all tree trunks. And but they've got like, they had 54 players, coaching staff, they had trainers, they had volunteers, they had oxygen masks on the sidelines. They had like chilled, cold towels put around their necks to prevent heat stroke. Meanwhile, my team, we've just warmed up, we've just stretched and maybe gone like this, and like people are already complaining of heat stroke. Frankly, I'm complaining of second-degree burns in my ass from the AstroTurf, and then boom, it's time for kickoff. So the Dallas Diamonds, they score immediately off the kickoff, and then pretty much every other play, whether it was theirs or ours. Yeah. Our girls are dropping like flies. We had 4 cases of heat stroke, and we didn't have a lot of players to spare, or like none, so the numbers are going down. And then we had a linebacker who I swear had like 4 ACL surgeries like in the last year who got popped, and she had to come out of the game. And my coach, all I hear is, Sapir, get in as a linebacker. And I'm an old school athlete, so your coach tells you to do something. I'm like, okay, coach, and I just trot off. And as I'm trotting off, I'm like, tree trunks, twig. But even worse, I kind of felt like a sapling among giants, and actually had the thought, why do I feel like a sitting duck? Boom, the play snaps, and the only other time I had the sensation that I had at that moment was the one time I did psychedelic mushrooms in the forest, when I was like, oh, I'm not feeling anything, I should eat some more. And then right at that moment after I've eaten more, the floor starts, the pine needles start fucking turning orange and swirling around, and I feel nauseated and like I just peed myself. And I see all of the players and the play just roll towards me like this sickening tidal wave, and out of the corner of my eye, I see the shadow of a giant plunging towards me, and I swear I have remembered William the Refrigerator Perry, and then, bam, this beast hit me from the side, and I felt a very unnatural grinding sensation, in which my bottom leg bone and my top leg bone just kind of felt like they had separated. Well, because they had. And I was pitched into the air long enough to pause, process my thoughts, and then Airborne said, I'm done, something's broken. Pause. And then I fell, probably about 15 feet away from the original site of the hit. Conveniently, I was facing the Dallas Diamonds sideline, so I got to see the gasp of the trainers coming towards me, and they ran up, confirmed you broke your tibial plateau. The game was ended at the half, the first half, via the mercy rule. Dallas Diamonds 50, Tucson Monsoon nothing. The Diamonds felt so bad they broke my leg that at the after party that night, they assigned 2 huge guys to just carry me everywhere, and they gave me a bottle of tequila. And the only good thing that happened is at the rooftop party, there was a woman who spotted me from across the way who wasn't with the footballers. She was gorgeous, like beautiful, rich chocolate skin. She's making eyes. I'm stationary, so I can't do anything else but stare back. So she came over and said, baby, what happened to you? I broke my leg playing football. Oh, baby, I just want to hold you all night long. And I said, okay.